started. Okay. If I remember rightly, last time you had a fairly interesting time of it. If I remember rightly.
Yeah, we've organised a meeting tomorrow night. I think it's tomorrow night with the werewolves.
That's it. I'll go through what.
Oh, right.
So I have to, work through all the bits and pieces, because the running order's also being used today. I think it started off with all your EPs, which I'll go through with you in a minute. I think you went up to the house, didn't you, for the start?
Yep.
And oh yes, Marie was having hours of fun at the start of the evening with the mirror. Finally saw the shadow that's sort of been, wandering around following her, who didn't talk to her, if I remember rightly.
I almost got dragged into hell.
That was the end. Yeah.
Oh boy.
You went off to the house at the Golden Coast, which you found the room with the drawings on. You also found a strange, vampire and a strange man who you had a talk with. You looked at all the drawings with various things that were on those. I think in the end he sort of disappeared, and I think Marie sort of modified the drawings generally because they broke the Masquerade.
But only the ones at knee height, because she's so small.
Oi.
But yeah, they've been generally damaged. At that one point, your favourite German friend comes bounding through the door, knocking the door off the hinges at the time. It basically says that's his child. And
yeah, we made a deal.
That's it. He will stop killing people if you go and find his child. And you just now hope he actually sticks to it.
Well, if he doesn't, it means he doesn't want his child.
Actually, he didn't do a lot last week.
It was a lot of roleplay, that's why.
Yeah. And the other one was you went and wandered off into the park at the end to see the werewolves. The usual trick of just hanging around until they appeared.
Although I stayed in the car.
Yes, you stayed in the car with Rolls and the Assamite. Who's not here again? That's a bit of a shame. Okay.
Oh well.
Maybe it's turned out that the timing's just not great for him.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, so you had the meetings with werewolves. You explained why you wanted to see them. Something to do with Pentax. They said, well, we don't deal with you as such, but we know vampires who will deal with you. And then you wandered off back to your hotel, and I think after an hour you hunted, of which not a lot happened, if I remember rightly. You weren't even, disturbed by anything at that point. And then after that, they said 10 o'clock the next evening you were going to have the meeting with the werewolves in the park at the fountain. I think it's Grant's Park, and there's a fountain there, and I'll meet you at 10 o'clock there. You were going to wander off out of town, but discovered it's about an hour and a half drive, and by the time you got out there and came back, it would be near enough dawn. I think that was the one thing. You were also going to do that in the evening, but that would be interesting to see how long the meeting takes. And then you all went to bed, and had a nice peaceful night's sleep. Right. So you lose 1 point of blood and gain 1 willpower if you've used it. And the XP is given out. James Bell has been given 3 XPs. I think you've got an extra one. Oh yes, I forgot the discussion about the dimensions, which got quite entertaining. And Mr. Porsendorfer tried to nick Bury. out of the back of the car.
To take me to Hades.
Yep.
Mhm.
Which is a really shit town.
That's the one. I believe you saw the other side, which is fairly dark, if I remember rightly.
I think it's very brief.
Very brief. You literally fell through it. Fell backwards through it. Sorry if I'm eating
I
wrong.
did have a question about the about XP. Would you prefer that we like waited in between like story arcs before spending it, or?
It depends how you want to expend it. Physical things you can do as you go along and practice. Things like extra disciplines you have to find someone to teach you. So something like thaumaturgy. Some of the stuff you can practice. Some of the other stuff you need someone to teach you.
Right. Not for your own clan disciplines though, right?
Anybody can teach you. Or something like fortitude and stuff like that, it makes sense. That's just practice. So you can do that. Same with celerity, it's just practice. It's nothing. There isn't anything you have to learn. You gradually get faster as you go along. And I'm usually fairly lax anyway. Same with attributes and stuff like that. Things, if you gain different backgrounds, you usually don't have to pay XP because you usually get those because of your actions.
Right.
Yeah. Right, as we go down, Marie has 3 XP. Philip Drake has 2. Roll Isn't Here has 2. And the Malkavia, the Assamite has 1. As he said, everybody gets an XP even if they're not here. But it's a little unfair to penalise someone for not being here.
Well, they lose out on the interaction, so they might not gain certain things. So.
Right.
Which is fair.
Yeah, it was an idea that someone did that. Right, and you get up the next morning. Did you all go back to your relevant havens, and were you going to meet at the hotel as usual the next day?
Yeah.
Yep. So 3 blood to spend.
Oh god, that's rough.
Down to 3.
I spend 3 blood. I spend 3 blood a day. Actually,
Of course, yes.
I could spend 4, but I'd rather just leave myself bruised. So I'm basically always walking around like with a bruised face.
Okay, so yeah, you get up. First thing Marie feels is the usual. Was it Shadow? Again.
And I'll have a look in the mirror and try and have a conversation with it again.
Like last time, you can see. I think I remember last time it was a female figure. It's no more distinct than it was before. Though this time it might actually sort of move as if to look at you closely. It's definitely female. I think it's longish hair, but you can't quite get the features. They tend to be blurred.
I'll also be studying them very intently. I'm also thinking to myself that tomorrow I need to set up a notepad and some paper in front of the mirror so that I can draw them.
Nice one.
But I will study them, and I will probably attempt. Well, I will attempt to do a recreation of what I'm remembering.
Yeah.
So that I can show everybody and be like, you know who this strange shadow lady is? It's following me around. It's kind of creepy.
The mirror, and you will put paper aside the next evening. Excellent. What are the rest of you going to do at the start of the evening, considering the meeting is at, if I remember rightly, it's at 10 o'clock in a park?
Hunting massively.
You have about an hour or so to hunt.
That's enough to kill, to get some animals.
Animals?
Animals at worst, yeah. I'm a gang girl. I'll eat off anything.
You'll
I'm
find
a
rats
survivor.
everywhere. You'll find rats
Yeah.
everywhere.
I'm a survivor.
If you're eating rats and dogs and cats, you'll certainly get enough buzzet points. So roll your hunting again. If I remember rightly, it's your perception. Ah.
Does the fact I have animalism help me on that?
It'll make it easier.
Because I have beckoning.
That will make it dead easy. Yeah. Okay. Actually, don't bother. You can get 4 points of blood.
Excellent.
A mixture of rats, cats, dogs, whatever you want.
Yep. I can't stay in the city for too long because there tends to be a national shortage of animals after a while.
I think you'll have a
Once
little.
I've done that, it's kind of like I deal with the bodies, like I kind of bury them, or if I'm in a place where I think I can kind of burn them or something like that, just so there's no remains, so no one can see that there's exsanguinated animals.
That's fine. Or do the rest of you hunting traditionally? Or are you just going to...
I was
No.
doing a hunt.
so this is
I think in lieu of hunting. Oh, go ahead. Was it?
if it's going to be a bit bitchy to start, just bear with me here. In lieu of hunting...
Oh, I was. I think Philip's going to try to get a little bit more lay of the land in a way. I think to be like reading the local papers. Maybe if he's if we could say he's maybe still has like a leftover police band, like walkie-talkie or radio from his mortal days. He might tune into that and
well, if
just
you
kind of like
get a lay of the land, yes. Well, if you central... Go on.
Oh, that's like, yeah, I mean, somewhat, in some ways physically, yes, but also like, I think he's also kind of trying to like connect the dots between like what's going on in mortal news, and like decipher what the what the jihad, like, under the hood, tug of war is happening in the city.
The major concerns at the moment, as far as the police are concerned, is the ongoing trouble between black gangs, the Bloods, and new, Russian gangs over drug trade.
Got it.
That's been going on and rumbling on and off for a while. There's been lots of sighting of wolves deep in the city, which is unusual for the fact that wolves usually do not come this far into a city. A lot have been seen in the parks, including Grant Park, which is right in the centre of Chicago itself. I haven't got the map of Chicago here, I've left it downstairs. But if with Chicago, where you've got the downtown, Grant Park's to the one side. The edge of it, that's where you've got the Institute of Art. You've also got the planetarium. I think there's a fun fair there. And I think there's more parks as you go further up north. If you go into the central part of town, the Chicago actually has what they call Underworld. Basically have, I think it's like Montreal, they have an underpasses and stuff in the centre of city. That tends to be, from the edge of it, it tends to be full of street people. It tends to be very messy and very lots of bums and stuff like that down there. If you were into hunting, you could do that. And generally, if you wander around, there are a lot of vampires who are wandering around downtown on various bits of business. Some of them are in suits. And they are going in and out of corporate buildings. So if the vampires here, they are very active, but they're very careful not, other than around the underground, not to be hunting in the open.
Right.
If anything, it's a little relaxed at the moment. Well, there's no Sabbat, is there?
That's true.
And there's only a Primogens ruling, but they seem to be... But they are certainly sticking to the rules. And that's a sort of a quick overview, and instead the newspapers is there. If you look back on the newspapers, there were a series of murders, crucifix murders, months ago.
Mm-hmm. Right.
The people involved...
Nothing recent, like in the last couple of nights, that's of note. Though.
No, there hasn't been for months.
Okay.
The last one was, funnily enough, found in the... Oh, last one. Yeah, it was found near in the Gold Coast. In all cases, they've been on a rough wooden cross, and each had been tied to it by razor wires. Oh yeah. There's not much else there. That was lovely.
All right.
That was very lovely. Oh, now I'm ready.
Good.
So yeah, so there isn't a lot going on there. Oh, actually. Make a... I think it's perception. Oh, I'm trying to think. How do you know if someone was watching you? Perception and alertness roll.
Yeah, alright.
Which would be interesting. Oh, blimey. Yes.
Alright, I'm good at that.
Exactly.
I'm a detective.
Yeah. And you'll be quite apt.
Let's see here. What? Oh gosh, now how do I do this again? I'm gonna relearn this every time.
Is it /R space, and then it will come a thing, and then
okay. Got
the
it.
number
Okay.
dice.
Yeah.
Alright.
Where is it?
No, what did I?
/R. It should say, command. Space and command.
Oh, command.
So
okay.
/R.
There we go.
That's it.
I think I forgot the. There we go. Not a great roll for me, but well,
Enough.
depends on what the target number is. But.
That's enough. Yep. You are being watched all the way through.
Interesting, but not enough to actually identify my my.
It's more of a feeling.
Okay.
With your long experience, if it's a Nosferatu or someone with obfuscate, you're not likely to see him, or if you do, they're not going to have the face you expect. But
that's right. That was the first thing I need to save up and have the Malkavian teach me Auspex. That's.
I think that again it depends.
Do you know how she's going to teach you Auspex? She'll be like every so often just throwing something at you, going and hit you, and you'll be like, well, you didn't see that one coming.
Yeah. And it doesn't always work. If the person using the Auspex is a higher generation, they just go, yeah, right.
Right.
Oh no, it's a higher Auspex or a higher obfuscate. I can't remember how it works.
Yeah, it's I liked it better in the original edition where it was like a roll-off between.
I think it is.
And obfuscate.
I
I think at least in revised, it's just a simple, like whoever's got the better value.
Oh yes,
wins.
it gets interesting when you get to dominate. That's when the fun starts.
Oh yeah, that's the one that's generation dependent. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is if you've got high. Obviously, wait. Alright, all specs can detect the presence of a superhuman being who's hidden from normal sight. Okay. It is as a roll, is a resisted roll of perception for subterfuge against manipulation and it is still a roll off if you want to see them.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Oh yes.
Good.
But you need the all specs to do it, so they haven't changed that at all.
Okay.
So yeah. But
I know in one of the editions, if you had a higher source specs rating, then their obfuscate you automatically bypassed it.
no, it's a resisted roll, which makes far more sense, and it also it's to do with other illusions too. Right, so Drake goes and has in it. Drake, that's a scout in the hour.
All right. And I am being watched.
Yes.
Okay.
Persons unknown.
Yeah, so I just sort of do that, for the hour that
Yeah.
that James is hunting.
Yeah. Well, see, you're more like to know, you're wandering around not hunting, so yeah. So it looks like you're being watched by whom you don't know, but you have a sneaking suspicion by who.
Got a couple ideas.
Oh yes.
The list is starting to get longer.
Right.
Primogen. Nosferatu. They're all like that. So yeah.
The Malkavians, a mage, any form of random entities.
That's right. After that hour, what's Marie doing? Is she just studying the image, or is she actually going to do some hunting?
I mean, I'm not very hungry, so I'm just going to study the images, I think.
Yeah.
Partly, I'm also a little shaken up by the fact that I'm still being followed by a shadow monster, and somebody just tried to drag me into hell.
That's true.
I'm feeling like staying home and studying like a good little child might be the way to go, and hopefully I won't get dragged into hell whilst I'm in the house.
The problem is they left you alone last time.
No, they didn't. They left me with two people who were then taken over.
Yeah, and
then
what
they
up?
left.
Currently you're by yourself.
Yeah, but so it doesn't matter whether I'm with other people or not. At least here, I'm in an environment where I feel safe.
Yep. And yep, the shadow's still there.
It's fine. Getting quite used to it. I've named it Bob.
Bob the Shadow.
Yeah, and me and Bob just kind of hang out.
Oh, I forgot to bring the book up. Oh, blow me.
So he's Bob shading.
Ha ha ha.
Is he quite thin? So would he be slim shading?
They're slim. They're definitely slim. As in female, if they're not grossly fat. Oh, of course, I bet she's there straight at the start. Or have I actually written them up yet? I bet I haven't. I have. I'm just trying to see what powers they've got and what interesting things they can do. Oh, I can't find them. I must have.
I'll be back in a second. I'm hearing groans of pain from my wife.
Ooh. Not good. There it is. I've got it. Just having a look. I forgot to bring the book up, which is a bit of a pain. Oh, I'm going to have to wander around to get the book. Oh, I haven't got it here.
Oh, well, we got a minute, it sounds like.
That's fine. Let me have a look. No, I haven't brought the book up. I was trying to think. Yeah, that's fine. I can always make it up. That's no problem. If you've just had an operation, it's always fun. When I woke up out of mine, yeah, two lots of drips.
Yeah, it's the actual surgery site. I've been on morphine for the last 2 days.
Ooh, ow. Yeah.
So the morphine has fully left my system.
Ow.
And now all I can feel is pain.
Ow. Yes, I can. I think I was at first 2 days after the major operation. I was on morphine. Took me out to bed the next day. I literally floated to the seat.
My medical pack of painkillers should be in the cupboard.
Yeah.
The little cupboard. Sorry, the tall cupboard.
Yeah, I had my own personal drip of morphine. And all I had to do was press a button and it fed it. And they were worried at one point. I was worried at one point I could get addicted at it, but I soon discovered the problem with morphine is it makes you sick. And the last thing I needed, just as my stomach had been operated on, is feeling sick.
Yeah.
So I cut it down bit by bit.
Huh?
I couldn't eat for 8 weeks properly. Well, apparently if they touch your intestines, they go, not working. I'm going on strike.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, yeah. So you have to literally reteach yourself to eat again. I ate too much. I ate too much when I could actually eat, and then threw it promptly back up. Because the stomach says, "No, you can't have that."
I'm quite lucky they weren't really anywhere near my stomach.
Oh.
They went in through my belly button, from my keyhole, but like.
I see.
That hurt is the belly button. I have like other openings. They don't hurt. That's fine. It's the one in my belly button that feels it's having.
Oh, I love the scar. Mine sort of goes down round the belly button, then down again.
Mine was keyhole because when I went under, it was like, we'll try and keep it keyhole, but there's a chance that we'll just need to like open you up. Well, you'll find out which one it was when you wake up.
Yep.
Which was fun, and then I started screaming at the poor nurse because I woke up and had no idea where it was or what happened, and I was in pain. I didn't understand, which didn't happen. This is the second time I've had this surgery, and that didn't happen last time. Freaking out that I was like, I don't know where I am.
No, it didn't freak me out because I knew I just woke up. Okay, what's all these people around me? Just sit there, just totally out of it. Because by that time I was probably high on morphine. Listened to two silly buggers either side of me. Both had knee surgery. Both wanted to get out of bed. You've just had your knees done. You can't walk now, you silly buggers. Oh yeah.
But I'm back. He
Yeah.
has drugs. It's all good.
It's needed, was it? I was just saying when I was on the morphine. Ooh. Right. So you all eventually get back. Marie, the shadow just generally watches you. The shadow stays there, sort of watching you.
Mm-hmm.
And when you go away from the mirror, you still get the same sort of annoyance that just on the edge of your vision, you can see it.
That's fine. Occasionally, I might look up into the mirror and be like, "So, what do you think this means?" See if I can provoke a reaction by asking it questions.
It sort of cocks its head, and then at one point shrugs.
Well, you're no use.
Yes. Right, as you guys come up into the room, you're watching the shadow. The shadow points behind you and disappears.
Are you okay, Murray? You look even more distracted than normal.
Oh, it's fine. Me and Bob were just trying to work out what's in this book, that's all.
Bob?
Bob?
The shadow friend. Bob.
You've called your shadow friend Bob.
Well, I wasn't exactly going to spend the rest of forever calling it the shadow creature in the corner. Bob felt more appropriate. But it doesn't know any of these symbols anyway, so it's no help.
Yeah, you don't. She seems, or it seems not to be around you at the moment. When you look.
Yeah. Oh, actually, guys, I drew Bob, and I'm going to show them the little sketch that I did, where I'm trying to be as close as I could to what Bob looks like.
On a scale of 5-year-old to 12-year-old, how good is this picture?
It's sort of blurry. It's the best way of describing it. It's sort of humanoid. It sort of has a face.
I have one dot in crafts.
This is as close as it's. I don't think it's sort of at the bottom.
My question on the scale of an age group for a kid.
It does look like a kid's drawing. About 8-year-old.
Marie, while I know that you enjoy drawing, your artistic abilities are not enough that I could use that to easily work out what or who that is.
Well, I'm sorry. It's hard to draw a shadow monster that you can only see in the mirror or at the corner of your eye. I'm sorry I couldn't make it look more accurate or take a still photo for you.
Why did you not go up to the mirror, take, I don't know, some of your crayons, and then draw around this outline on the crayons, with the crayons?
Because it didn't exactly stay still. Bob moves. Bob has opinions.
She's not. It's not there. Bob's not there at the moment.
Yeah, I know.
Good.
Bob moves. Bob has opinions.
Did you get any of Bob's opinions?
Yeah, it didn't know what these shapes were. That was one of Bob's opinions.
It spoke to you?
It shrugged at me when I asked it a question.
Well, that's interesting.
Definitely an intelligent Bob.
Mm-hmm.
And why it got a name. And it's a skinny lady.
Yep.
So you called a lady Bob?
Well, I was trying to see if I could provoke a reaction from it by calling it Bob, but it just didn't seem to care. So now it's just called Bob because it didn't object.
Well, I've got something to share. Seems that I also have a shadow.
Da, da, da. Is this a shadow you've had since childhood, or is this a new shadow?
Somebody was watching me while I was out.
So like not an interesting shadow, just like a stalker.
Something like that, yeah. Not quite as I guess not as much flair as Bob. But there's somebody I couldn't identify who it was, which gives me the impression that it was perhaps someone using more supernatural means of cloaking.
Ooh.
I know Smaratu, another Malkavian, our Malkavian friend, perhaps.
I think if our Malkavian friend didn't want to be seen, I don't think we'd know.
We do seem to attract many of my kind, so...
Yes, we do.
I'm
wondering whether or not that's because of you, or because of us.
Why would it be because of me? I've managed to keep myself pretty much to myself for many, many, many years.
Yeah, but you've become active again now that you're with us. I mean, I don't really know much of your life before we met you, and before you became our ward. So, because you just don't tell us. But that kind of means that you have a whole past, and we have to be aware of it. So, maybe the fact that now, like us, we're now out of the town. We're moving around in some sort of ways. Maybe we're active in the jihad, and because of that, you know, maybe that's kind of got you attention.
Well, we're new in town and we're starting to make waves already, so that's reason enough, I think.
You wait till tonight. Tonight's going to be waves.
Storm, maybe.
I have a smile on my face, and every time I have one of these smiles, bad things happen.
I'm familiar with that smile. Yes.
Just read the what I've just typed.
Oh yeah.
Is it? Which wall is it?
Where was it? James was standing.
By James.
It's basically from across the room, and it would have been very close to his head. And it's a knife, jet black, which is slowly smoking.
I've had enough of knives and walls.
Not that knife. Not that knife. This one doesn't breed.
Okay.
It literally is looking as if it's dissolving before your eyes.
Ooh.
But that's not something you see every other day.
So
if you want our attention, whatever you are or whoever you are, you can talk
Marie,
to us.
Can you see anything?
Can I do a sense unseen?
No, not. I'll tell you now, was that you couldn't. But your shadow's back. Sort of just stating behind you.
Okay.
And sort of waving the hands.
What's it just stating at?
It was just stating at something. So it's sort of pointing and sort of making a gesture as if something's gone away.
Okay. Bob, what are you doing? And I'm going to go back to the mirror on the wall, so that I can make pseudo eye contact with Bob.
Mm-hmm.
What did you see? Who did the knife thing?
Sort of. How do you do this?
Charades with.
Yeah, I was trying to think. Was it? They seem to be very perplexed, and sort of sit as if they've sat down,
Somebody's sitting.
as if they've gone and sat and thinking.
Oh, okay. And I'll just kind of like wave my hand at the guy's back. It's fine. Bob's thinking.
Sort of on the mirror in backwards, draws an M,
N
an A,
A
G,
G.
and a backwards E in the air.
Was that N or M?
M for mother.
M.
And for mother.
Mage.
So it's mage.
Yeah.
Is it a mage?
And the figure nods.
Ah, damn it. I am saying all this out loud so you guys can hear this conversation I'm having with the mirror.
Sure.
You can't see this, but she's just talking to the mirror. As you're watching the dagger, it's now sort of dropped on the floor. And
Okay, can I pick it up?
Yeah, it feels strange. It's not metal.
In what way?
It's not metal, but it feels like metal, but isn't metal. It is black, and it is smoking. It is literally disappearing.
Have you ever seen anything like this before? Philip?
No. From tales my sire told me, I would imagine it's got something to do with the Sabbat, but I don't really know anything more specific than that. But if it sounds something like that. But if our friend Bob says mage, I would trust that more.
I mean, does Bob react to Sabbat? The word Sabbat?
No, doesn't react.
Well, thank you, Bog, for helping us.
Yeah, thanks, Bob.
Yeah, the knife is now getting smaller and it's sort of disappearing. The smoke sort of disappears, as in it just seems to dissipate.
Looking at the knife as I'm kind of looking at it, what type of knife is it? Are we talking a Western knife, Eastern knife?
It was a standard. It would be a standard Western knife, as in something you would find in Europe.
Okay.
So it's basically a pointed blade, a hilt, and it had a fairly basic handle. And it's now getting smaller and smaller, and if you watch it, it will literally just fade away.
We can ask maybe when we next report in, we can maybe ask about that, because I've never seen anything like that. I've never even heard of anything like that before.
Yeah, it's a little out of my realm.
What was that, Miri?
I was just asking Bob if they've heard of it, or they've seen anything like that before. Bob's on our side now. I'm going to ask them questions.
She does. Backward S.
S.
O.
O.
I've got to remember how to spell this. I had U.
U.
And an L.
L. Soul.
Mm-hmm.
Your soul?
And she was a backward K.
A.
N.
N.
I.
I.
F. And an E.
Soul knife. So that was a soul knife.
That really clears it up.
At least we have a word to ask. Thank you, Bob. You're amazing. You're super helpful. And we really appreciate your help. Thank you, Bob. Please don't leave me.
All right.
Okay,
Well, we
at
have a
that point,
meeting
I
to
just kind of look at Marie when she says that. It's like, don't say that.
No, Bob is really helpful and we like Bob. Leave Bob alone.
It's getting close to that time for the meeting. You
Right,
might
we
be
need
late.
to make a move. We have some werewolves to do. I would advise Bob not come anywhere near us. They've always said stories about werewolves and spirits and stuff.
I mean, also, I don't think I should go anywhere near them, because, you know.
Considering the last time, do you really want to leave? Was it Marie alone? It'll only be you four.
No,
I mean, it'll be me and Bob.
I don't think Bob's very good protection.
Your best behavior.
Okay, I'll be on my best behavior. You can put a muzzle on me if you really want.
That's not necessary. Just
yeah.
You should.
gonna trust you to not pull any tails, literally or figuratively.
Fine. I'll be good.
You can be a big girl.
It's very boring.
I know.
I know.
But I'll tell you this: if what I have planned goes ahead, there may be chaos ahead.
Oh, okay, I'll be good.
Care to let the rest of us in on your plan?
I'm thinking about some of the rumors we heard when we came here. So I'm thinking that we have a hunt for a certain target that has connections with Pentax that we've heard about. The werewolves don't like Pentax, so maybe we can join forces to do something about the Pentax, which would then also allow for the city to get a bit less frustration from the werewolves. Maybe might reduce the number of werewolves within the city, because that Pentax problem or whatever, they've got a problem with this, and these black spiral thingamajobs, whatever
Yes.
they are, whatever their issues is, we could maybe help deal with that. Therefore gaining a potential, I'm not going to call them allies, but somebody who respected adversary.
At least
I
make
think
them less antagonistic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, if we can do that, we might be able to find a certain Mr. Black, or Umbra, as his name is, because
Yes.
he's got
Yeah.
connections to Pentax. So
Yes.
therefore, the plan is
Mhm.
we
Nice
try
one.
to deal with multiple things at the same time, which might lead us to gain more information or deal with something that will help us within the city. And I have a feeling that this Mr. Umbras might also have something to do with what we want to help our Malkavian friend, because everything at the moment that we keep seeing, I've got a feeling in the back of my neck. You know that feeling you get when you're on a case. There's something connecting all of this, and I don't know what it is. And because I don't know what it is, I can't see the bigger picture. But I know, I just know there's something that's connecting all of these. And by doing this, I feel like we're going to push something, and then we'll be able to connect the dots and get the things that we want done.
You'll push the right buttons.
Yeah.
Or at least find out what's going
I
on.
like it.
Yeah, I like
I
it.
like it. Yeah,
I'm just amazed you remembered Mr. Umbras.
that's right. I don't. Yeah, I'm trying to. I remember his name, but I'm not sure where he is in my notes here. I don't know. If
It will be fairly early on.
yeah.
It was mentioned in. I'll give you a subtle hint. It was mentioned in a meeting. We're in conjunction with another name. Oh no. Right. So you're going to go off. Are you going to go straight there, or are you going to do any wandering off in directions?
I think going straight there. We don't want to be late, so we're going to try and show these guys respect,
Yeah.
because we're trying to get them on our side, or at least not against us.
Yep. That's a good idea.
Before we go, I am going to dress all cute.
And then I do say, Marie, does that sound chaotic enough for you?
I mean, fine.
Do you like that plan?
I guess I'll be good.
Okay.
So, yes, I'm going to disappear off upstairs or wherever.
Into the room. Yeah.
I'm just going to go and dress in my cutest, frilliest, pinkest dress. Yeah, that kind of like nausea-inducing
Dear.
pageant child. That's what I'm dressing as.
All right. Awesome.
Because I'm cute and innocent, I could never hurt anybody.
All that's missing from that outfit is a balloon.
Oh no! Don't.
Who says I don't have a balloon?
And where are you going to find a balloon at this time of night? A helium one.
Again, who says I don't have cans of helium in my room? Just for this occasion.
That would be dangerous, giving a Malkavian a can of helium.
Of
Ooh.
all the chemicals that you could give a Malkavian, helium is not the worst.
No, was it nitrous oxide? Yeah, a whole other was it things.
No, but I will have like a little balloon pin, like a brooch type thing on my dress. So just to add to the cuteness factor.
Yep. Are you going to walk there, or are you going to drive there again?
We'll go drive to the car park and then
Yeah.
go in.
Yep. Right, you walk in. Yeah, you have nothing and following you as far as you can see through the park. You don't have the people walking, as last time with the other werewolves. You don't have people walking and following you at a distance. When you get to the fountain, my brain's going at the moment. There are 6 gentlemen that sort of sitting relaxed in there. One of them gets up and starts walking towards you. The gentlemen are of, you would suspect, of Eastern European, was it descent. Their skins tend to be, their hairs are dark, they tend to have slightly tanned skins and that sort of air to them that most Eastern Europeans have. I don't know what it is, it's just either an air of not saying dodgy, they just have a different look to them. And the guy sort of walks up and stops. He sort of walks halfway to where you are and stops, and then just crosses his arms.
I'm going to smile cutely and wave. Again, just being cute. I'm not being threatening. Like, hi.
We have a meeting. We're expected.
Yes.
Constantine?
The guy says in a very heavy Russian accent, which I can't do. He says, "So you are the vampires who wished to talk to the werewolves about Pentax?"
Correct.
I am Konstantin Volkov, leader of the pack. So if you are the said vampires, you need to talk to me. Just to let you know, don't try any funny business. Will not hesitate to kill you. You understand?
I understand that.
Big smile on his face.
Absolutely.
So, what do you want to talk about?
I believe we have the same problems within this town. I understand that, from my understanding, you have a beef with Pentax and these black spiral people.
At this point, scum of the earth. But yes, Pentax is of the worm. It's corruption.
Well, I have heard of one of my kind dealing with Pentax, and I don't like the sound of that. I want to deal with that, and I think we can help each other.
Same here. My predecessor, Roman, sort of dealt with the group that involved one of them.
Well,
I don't know what his name is, but off the top of my head, I could always ask Roman. He might tell me.
And Mr. Umbra.
It might be right. It might be right. But this group's worked for vampires before, so we're quite used to it.
Yes, but you don't want to work for Pentax, do you?
We don't work for Pentax.
Exactly. This vampire does. He's had dealings with them.
I'll have to look into this to see.
Feel free.
Definitely, but yeah, he was part of the group my predecessor worked with.
So I am trying to set my people. I am of Clan Gangrel. Have always had a tenuous relationship with yourselves. I am new to the city, and I want to make sure that this is kept going. We have elders within the city that have in the past dealt with yourselves, from my understanding, but I want to make sure that this continues, and therefore I have things that I want that to do with Pentax. You have a problem with Pentax. I want us to work together, and we can do something about it.
The only issue we have with Pentax is they threatened our old boss, one Marcello Giovanni.
Giovanni?
Ooh.
Also went
He's
to
your
buy.
boss?
No, he still pays us to look after, how you say, a store here for him. Make sure that no one, how you say, muscles in on it. Hence why we will work with vampires, as long as you pay well.
Understandable. We're not rich. You have to understand that. But I'm trying to continue the good faith, as it were.
Sort of walks up. Sort of says something in Russian. One of the guys walks up, and they sort of look around you and sit there and apparently you're as motley as the last lot were, but at least as you're not led by someone who's a fashion victim. He laughs. And they didn't have a little girl with them.
I'm just going to grin at that.
Well,
Oh.
that was their loss.
From what my
The
colleagues,
words right out of my mouth.
to be fair, I don't think that was their loss. There were two of them, at least very high class Italians, apparently.
Boring.
It could be. She's a very vocal little girl, isn't she?
This
She
is
can be.
She can be. This is a quiet day.
I said I'd be good. I didn't say I'd be quiet.
A very outspoken, was it, little girl? Though I have suspicion. He sort of walks up. Yeah, I thought so. That's a little mean, isn't it?
It is.
Okay. He turns around, he looks at you, you're a leech.
Oh, yeah.
A little mean. It means you'll never
Normally
grow
we
up.
don't allow it, so whoever did it kind of did
Right.
it.
Yep. So you want us to help you?
And I have to help you at the same time.
And my companions here still have a score to sort of with the black spirals in question. There was an interesting meeting, and they sort of threatened my ex-boss, or not ex-boss, the ex-leader of this, the Roman. And so yeah, we have a score to settle with them. If you can help us, we'll help you.
Okay. Now I don't know really much about these black spiral dancers things. So I need to know about them so I can deal with them.
Right. Now, this might be the easiest way of describing this to someone from the outside. To us, the universe is, spirits and three opposing forces. We have the Weaver, who creates the pattern. There's stasis. We have the Wild, which is chaos, not chaos, ever changing, life, and then we have Destroyer, the chaos, which is the worm. They're of the worm. They're they're corrupt. Like all Sabbat. And yes, we know what the Sabbat are. So they are opposite
We
to it.
understand that the black spiral dancers were involved in the death of quite a lot of Sabbat within the city.
We think they were. That hasn't been ever made clear yet. But when the attacks occurred, they occurred during the day, and they were very well orchestrated. They knew where the targets they needed to hit. They knew where the so-called Sabbaton others were. So it's like police raids. So they knew what they were doing from the start. They didn't do a lot of searching for them. As if someone told them where they were.
That's the information we've got too, or have heard.
To do attacks clinically, you have to have someone telling you where they are. So yes, they are. And as far as we can tell with the black spirals, yes, they are connected to, was it Pentax? We only know of one pack of black spirals. They're active, and they're under the control of the local, was it Pentax executive, a Mr. Leroy.
Mr. Leroy.
Oh yes.
Out of curiosity, have we ever heard of that name?
No. But how you say he's the local Pentax representative, and as all corrupt to the core. And I wouldn't go, how you say, if you are going to deal with them, I wouldn't go, how you say, a direct attack. There are a lot of things, how you say, you won't see. I'm not too sure if you believe me, but the world is full of, just outside the world there are spirits.
My friend here, I'll point at the girl. She is is gifted in that she sees some of these things that you talk about. I have no problem believing your of this spirit world of yours.
Yeah. At the moment, Marie, you can still see that shadow beside you.
I'm just gonna grin like Bob here. I'm just gonna kind of put my hand out to where he would be. Is
the spirit there now?
Is that them asking me?
Yeah.
Yeah, Bob's right here. You can only see Bob if you look in a mirror.
He says something to one of the guys, was it there, who strangely whips a mirror out, but he doesn't point in the mirror, he looks into it.
You see Bob?
And literally fades.
What the?
I think you might have seen Bob.
And literally reappears back, and he says something like "Net." There is no spirit near you.
Yeah, well.
Well,
let's just say that whether or not you can see it or not, there is something there. There is certain pieces of information that we glean that she has seen and understands, and so if she says something like that, there is always a glimpse of something that you're not seeing. There are things that can hide from sight. There are things that can hide from other senses.
Spirits don't tend to hide, even where they are.
They don't tend to, doesn't mean they can't.
But they believe me, there isn't. So.
Then maybe Bob isn't a spirit, but all I know is Bob is very helpful.
It's certainly not a spirit, so it could be something else.
Well, they're my friends.
Like what?
I have no idea. But they're not a spirit, that's what I know.
Well, Bob is helpful and I like Bob. Please don't hurt Bob.
If we can't see it, how can we hurt it?
I don't know, you could be mean to it.
He laughs.
So, do you think we can work together?
I think so.
Good.
We've got a bone to pick with the Black Spiral Dancers. You've got a bone to pick with them. And we can find out what this Mr. Umbrus, who this Mr. Umbrus is, and get back to you, because the name sounds familiar. I can go and talk to Roman.
Enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Indeed, little one. Yep, so... Yeah, there's no point shaking your hand.
How much of my kind do you understand?
Enough.
Have you ever heard of the our terms of boons?
No, we just... You mean boons, as in a favour for a favour?
Yes.
Well, if you help us with this, we'll call it quits.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We both understand the principle of it. If I say to you, I'm going to do something, I'll do it. I don't care if you think that I disagree with that with other of my kind. If I say I'm going to do something, I will make sure I damn well do.
And if you break the rules, you'll understand we'll find you and we'll tear you apart.
And if I break the rules, I'll even let you try.
Can I watch?
He says something in Russian, that's it. He'll laugh. Yeah, that'd be fair. Puts his hand out.
I'll put my hand out.
We're going to shake his hand.
Yeah, I'll shake his hand. I've got no fear of him.
Good. We agreed.
Here's my pager number. If you get any information or you need us in a certain location.
Yeah. We'll start having a look around ourselves and see where these guys are at and what was it Mr. Leroy is up to at the moment. And we'll see if we can find out about Mr. Umbus for you. The name sounds familiar.
That alone should tell you something.
Oh, yes, that's interesting. On your travels, have you seen any Giovanni, as in a Marcello Giovanni or a Renata Villati on your travels in the city?
No, you mentioned you work from Marcello.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if have we met?
Mm-mm.
I don't think we've met a Giovanni.
You've heard the name before.
Yes, a purveyor of vessels and vices is what I...
Yeah, very clannish, literally. If with Giovanni, they have the reputation of selling anything for anything and making money and getting very rich.
Seems like they're stereotypically Italian.
Yeah, they also are Italian based, and the other thing you'll know about them, they're necromancers. They deal with ghosts.
Ooh. That sounds like fun.
Yeah. Well, so I'm making notes.
Maybe Bob's one.
Are ghosts different than spirits?
Yes. Definitely.
Maybe Bob is one.
Because
Cool.
out of character you know what's happening. In character you have no idea. Out of character you know what's happening, but your own characters wouldn't have anything. Most of what the werewolf said would have gone straight over your head. What? He said, "Well, we have business to tend to now. We also have other businesses to deal with, and just something we need to do tonight."
Yes.
How you say, teach some bloods where they're supposed to be and not supposed to be. Good night, gentlemen. And
Good luck with that.
Das Vidania.
Oh, dude.
This Das Vidania. He says it's a shame you're not mortal. You could have joined us in some vodka. But hey, we'll drink for you. And they just basically all jump off and they wander off into the park.
And I'm just gonna wave at them. Bye, guys.
Yeah, they don't turn back.
I don't care. I'm partly doing that just to annoy the guys that are standing around me.
The werewolves are quite happy. They've gone.
Yeah. Well, that went quite well, actually.
I think so. Should we
Let's
go
make a
follow
move.
up?
Let's get out of this area before we cause any trouble.
Yes.
We've had our meeting. We now don't want to overstay our welcome. Just because
Absolutely.
we've got some sort of truth to them and dealing with them at the moment doesn't mean we need to be protagonists to them.
Yeah.
Antagonist.
Yeah.
Yeah, out
Did I
of
say-
Be protagonists. We don't want to be antagonists.
What's
Yeah.
the difference?
Are you paying attention to what's around you at the moment?
Always.
Yeah, out of one of the shadows, a tall figure with, I think, blue skin sort of walks out.
Antonio.
Ah, good evening. You seem to have some interesting meetings in this park.
We do indeed.
Do you regularly talk to the werewolves? And he smiles.
Not
It's
regularly.
becoming more and more of a habit, I guess.
Ah, I see. So, are you going to tell me why? You don't have to, of course. It's just curiosity on my part. Well,
We're just trying to help the city.
oh, how admirable. You do know that they were involved in an attack that killed Lodin, the previous prince?
I'm aware, but I also am aware that we are slowly starting to become outnumbered by them, and therefore, if we make them enemies, we endanger everyone. We can't have that.
We also
Ah.
understand that there are different factions within the Lupines, much like there are within our own ranks.
So I have heard. But not my, was it, how you say, point of interest. So I will give you one little advice. I would be careful about being seen talking to werewolves. Not all the elders will, how you say, take it, how you say, in a pleasant way.
There are already stories of my kind of dealing with them.
Hmm?
I don't
Of
think
course.
that's really a problem.
But outside your clan, others will, especially with recent events, may take a, how you say, a different view. Those of the, how you say, of the older clans like the Toreadors, the Ventru and the such, even they can get a little jumpy with people talking to werewolves. You know how these clans work.
I do.
We're just trying to help. I've seen a way to potentially help the city in multiple ways at the same time, and I believe that is why we're here. That's what we're trying to do.
Very admirable, sir.
And if the elders don't like it, well, they'll have to learn that not everything goes their way, because sometimes people just know different.
I wish you luck in that view. Elders are not noted for being the most flexible in thinking.
Well, I thought I can understand that. I mean, I'm not that old, but I'm struggling to keep up with things nowadays.
Indeed so. The world has changed even from my day.
I mean, you can't even like go out and really just get a horse and go around the towns nowadays. You have to use these car things. They're just loud all the time, and they smell horrible.
If you want to get technical, I don't think there's any specific ordinances saying you can't ride a horse.
Yes, in my day it used to be tended to be, was it, how you say, streets, was it not being so clean, horses and carriages about. Sanitation was, how you say, a rarity. And there were no such things as lights and cars and aeroplanes and those all things. little mouse keeps me was abreast of such things I need.
You know things. Do you know anything about a Malkavian female who has a perchance for drawing on walls?
No, I do not.
I would take it as a favour if you come across any information of that, you pass it my way. It's one of my side projects that to help deal with one of the problems of the city.
I would. I could look in for you, and does it if I find any into as the Malkavian. And where did this Malkavian drew on the walls?
Over in the Gold Coast.
It isn't to do with the house with the writing on the wall, was it? That the police
Yes.
found? Fascinating.
Now,
I haven't gone. Oh, sorry, sir.
one thing I will say, just because I don't want you getting the wrong idea, some of the images on it were close to being a breach. We've dealt with that part of it, but I also don't want you trying to deal with it, because this Malkavian has some sort of person travelling with her who is of the magical variety, and he seems to be fascinated by her.
Oh, interesting.
But her sire isn't happy, and her sire wants her back to protect her. So, we know of the sire's dalliances within the city and the trouble he has caused. If something was to happen to her, so the city would be in a lot of trouble. And that I don't want.
Yeah, he sort of brings out a notebook, starts writing things down quickly. Magical. Ooh, now that is fascinating. Magical entity.
What did they call him? Thanos something? Thanos, something like that.
Thank you. He sort of steps back into the shadow. And
Man, there's a lot of people who love shadows at the moment.
Oh, ow. Yep, he steps back into the shadow. Again. Do you still hear me?
Yep.
Yep, it's alright,
Yes.
it's just the cable's a bit short. It didn't matter when the machine was above me, but it does now, for some reason. Yep, so he steps back into the shadow. It's now about 11 o'clock. You were going to have a road trip somewhere, weren't you?
Right, we're gonna go see if we could find the pack, the wolf pack.
It takes about an hour and a half to go out, hour and a half to come back, so that's 3 hours. Plus, it may take more longer than that. You would be cutting it extremely fine.
I think if we don't do it now, we just won't get it done.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, well, Marie feels this first. She feels like she needs to be somewhere.
Oh no! Bad timing.
I gotta go.
I mean, you gotta go.
Marie, wait.
I'm just gonna like, sorry, I gotta go. I'll see you guys later, and I'll just walk off.
Yep.
We can't have that, so we better follow her.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you,
Well,
she's going to walk into downtown if you don't pass the car and continue on, I assume. She's not going to get into the car?
do you want to drive?
No,
We can get you there quicker.
I'm just following the desire and the pull.
All right, let's get in the car and tell me where to drive.
I'm good. I'll just keep walking. It's fine. Like
Jesus.
I'm feeling slightly out of it, and just like, just gotta keep walking, keep going.
I've seen this before. My grandsire did this to someone sometime at some point. This is.
No offense, but You venture your dicks if this is what you do to people.
No argument there.
Right, we're going to... this is going to so get us caught by trouble with the police. So we are going to be in a car that is going to slowly be driving, following a little girl down the street.
In the middle of the night.
In the middle of the night, yes.
Yeah. Well,
Why don't you follow her on foot, and I will.
Yeah, I'll walk with her, that way.
yeah.
I mean, I'm not trying to avoid you guys. I'm just doing as I am bid
Yep.
by the overwhelming desire and urge.
Yeah. And yeah, and you, she'll walk where you think she'll walk. It'll take you a while to get there because she's walking, and strangely, she's going where you think, like the time you had the same as it sort of urge, towards the Succubus Club.
Oh god, we're going back there, are we?
Mm-hmm.
Well, last time it was the owner itself that summoned us. That pretend neophyte thing, whoever she is.
Pretend neophyte thing.
Well, she claims to be a neophyte, but no way does a neophyte have as much political clout as she seems to have. No.
Portia, what's her name, right?
Something like that. Yeah.
I
sounded like a car. Yeah.
I suspect that she might simply be the front or another elder. That's common practice, especially amongst my kind, or the other quote.
I don't do these type of political games. I'm just a simple gangrel.
Yep.
Well, I'm pretty simple for a Ventru, but at least I have some knowledge of these things.
Yep. It does sound like whatever has hooked in was it Marie at the moment. And you walk into the Succubus Club again. A sweet little girl does.
So that blood doll doesn't try it again.
No, you do get some strange looks with a little girl wandering through the club.
I'm
And
not even paying attention to all the weird looks. I'm just focused on getting where I'm being summoned.
yep, you go back up to the stairs, and the upstairs is the quiet room. I think it's a Friday, which means the club will be bouncing downstairs on a Friday night. And strangely, that you can hear the music up this place is actually muted, so it's still quiet. As you walk through the club, it's loud. There's a band playing and a lot. And you go to the same table you were summoned last time. And there is a young lady sitting there. Again, as you recognise as Portia. And she sort of motions for Marie to sit by her.
You know, someone could get taking offence against someone doing something like that to their ward.
She smiles. It works. It got you here. Please sit.
I know.
She says again, please sit.
I do sit down, but I say there is this thing, they call it telephone.
I find this easier. It's a personal touch. And she smiles.
Well, she's got a point.
And your little child is very pretty tonight.
I'm gonna grin and cut.
Feels a little in. She sort of looks a little entranced for about a few seconds and sort of shakes her head. Sorry about that. A little weakness. For is it beautiful things?
Grin
How
wider.
How can
Right.
we help you?
Oh, well, a little birdie told me you are having some interesting meetings in Grants Park. Would you tell me what?
Word travels fast.
Of course. So, what are these meetings about?
Trying to Has it stopped anything getting worse between our kind and the werewolves?
Ooh. So how are you going to do that?
Probably eventually end up with blowing up a building.
Ooh.
You know the usual.
Well, we had a little bit of a misunderstanding with them the other nights. We were trying to make amends.
Ah, I see.
You might have seen something of a confrontation outside of the club the first night that we were in town.
Oh, I remember the werewolves. Certain Russian... Was it werewolves?
Yes.
Oh, they have been here before. Always caused trouble, but never was it, how you say, welcome anymore. For obvious reasons.
Well, Marie aggravated them, and, well, yes, they seem to be easily aggravated, and,
Oh, indeed they are.
as new,
As neolites.
as the new people in town,
Yes.
we didn't want to, stir too much up. Thought we'd go smooth things over.
So you smooth something over. I see. So have you smoothed it?
Well, it's in, the situation is, as they say, fluid. But we've made a start.
Mm-hmm.
We figured the rumours that the werewolves are growing in numbers, if we antagonise them, might lead to problems down the line for other people.
Mm-hmm.
So this is us trying to deal with it.
Mm-hmm. You do know you've just told me two different stories.
You do realise that two different stories can actually be the same thing from the different points of view.
One has rings truth, the other one doesn't so much.
What's truth and what's a lie?
What you said was nearer to the truth.
I'm a simple
James,
creature.
your friend, how you say, Philip, has embellished the truth. Very dangerous hobby. Philip.
I can imagine it probably is. Everyone has secrets.
Oh, yes.
I kind of give her a look as if she definitely has secrets.
She just smiles. And some secrets you don't want to know.
Some secrets I don't care about. What I care about is this city. We came to this city to help it. What we're doing is trying to help the city. How we do it might be a little bit unorthodox sometimes, but we are trying to help.
Interesting. So you have the skills to help the city.
We want to be archons, so of course we think we've got the skills. And I believe you're the type of person who has the ear of the right people.
I am a mere neolite. I have no, how you say, influence.
Of course you don't.
She smiles. I wouldn't dig too far.
I'm not trying to dig.
Good.
I'm just saying what's
Well then-
obvious. What we're trying to say is we're trying to do what we can, and we don't need we see you as a potential ally.
Interesting. You could be useful.
That's the aim. The more useful we are, the better it is for us.
She smiles. This could be interesting. So, thank you for telling me this. You are free to go. With your beautiful little girl.
Thank you. I would ask if next time, rather than just trying to summon, to do something a little bit more polite. I know it's the personal touches, but we're not enemies. We don't want to be enemies. we want to be friends, and it's just a nice thing to do.
No, it's an old habit.
An old habit that's quite a flex for a neonate.
I would keep that to yourself, Philip.
Good evening, Portia.
Good evening.
And I exit stage
I will
left.
leave. Come on, Marie.
Okay.
Let's go and get you another balloon.
Alright, James. I know the truth and honor and all that shit is important to you, but when I'm trying to come up with a cover story for us, back my fucking play.
I have never been a good liar. You know that about me. I think it's probably the only reason you trust me as much as you do.
That's partly true, yes. But god damn it.
Well, no offense to you, but whoever she is not some sort of simple neonite. I'm sorry, but
Obviously not.
So therefore, why lie to her? You lie to her, you're just going to annoy her.
You, Alright.
My sire always said that these people who play the great game, these the ones who really are involved in the game, they're actually plenty, what did he say they were? They have a stick, and it's certainly shoved up in the certain places, and because of that, you don't want to go rummaging around. And those were his exact words.
Right, but they are playing a game, and it's best to play along.
And I'm gonna at that point lean into you and whisper in your ear, and who's to say I'm not playing my game?
You're playing with your cards on the table, James.
I know which cards are on the table. Have you ever heard of card counting? I believe I believe in calculated risks. You know, when I was young,
I'm saying
Texas Holdout was Texas Holdout. You played it wrong. You got shot.
Right, but did you show the other players your cards?
Only sometimes. And the others, I showed them a bullet.
Well, I don't think we have a bullet big enough for certain elders. So keep your cards close to the vest.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
I'm playing with certain cards close to the test, and I will pay attention to the things that you think I need to. You know better in this than I do. I'm not going to deny that. You are the one who grew up in this. You're the blue blood.
All right,
I respect you.
Let's just not be so painfully honest with everyone all the time. You've got to learn to speak in metaphors and half truths, and that and that sort of thing.
Make a perception and alertness you pair as you have an argument.
All right. Trust me, the elders will actually respect you more, I think, if you dance around issues and speak through and make things a little less obvious.
You certainly see it. Both of you see it. Some distance away, Portia is sort of standing and sort of watching you and sort of laughing.
I'll tip my hat to her.
And she just nods.
I smile and wave. All right, let's get out of here. Am I still going to try to keep that appointment?
Always.
You're not going to make it tonight. It's nearly midnight. You wouldn't be back till 4 or 5 in the morning.
We're not going to make it tonight. Not because Marie walked.
Yes. Yep. As you go out of the... as you start to go out, you are sort of pushed aside by a very large, fat gentleman. That gives you a fairly evil look. And I mean large, grossly fat gentleman. His suit is like a tent. Literally. And are you going to watch where...
Out game, I know who that
yeah.
is. In-game,
are you going to watch where he goes?
I watch everything. I'm trying to keep a watch on everything.
Yep. As you look around the room, you would see there is a black gentleman with, I think you recognise as a certain Mr. Jackson.
Dipshit Jackson.
Yeah.
That's it. Who is surrounded by various gang members, doing the thing of a gangster. Lots of women around him. He's got the usual bling and everything like that, doing a real part of it. And he the big fat gentleman walks up to him, and the fat gentleman will say, "Are you going to listen to what they said? Are you going to overhear what they're going to say?"
Yeah.
If we can do it without getting in trouble, yeah.
Yeah. Well, they seem to be very intent on each other, but if you watch Jackson, he has stiffened up. He doesn't look, too pleased that this big fat guy is there. The fat guy says it's come time for you to decide who you're going to support. Jackson says, "Why the hell should I? The both of you are has-beens, dinosaurs whose power is weakening. Your dinosaurs, your dinosaurs this world, your time is gone." The fat guy says, "Such disrespect, if Lane was here, I would punish you for your disrespect of your elders. Lonin is not here, Ballard. Just because you are of the first brood makes you no more important than me. Go away, old man, while you can. And finally, I would not support neither you or Capone. Both are not worth my effort." Ballard, as in the fat guy, visibly stiffens and says, "Not here, but Jackson, I will make you pay for your insolence." Jackson answers back, "I cannot wait, Ballard. I would watch your back." At this point, the Ballard will turn, and he will basically walk out looking furious. Anybody gets in his way will be shoved out of the way. And a familiar...
I'll make sure we're not in the way.
Yeah.
Especially you, Marie.
Oh yeah, and a familiar voice, female voice behind you says, well, so the little boys of the Venture have come out to play. It's going to be an entertaining watch the Venture collapse into a pile of fighting children. I'll watch it with great anticipation of some interesting events to come. My advice to you is, unless you are Ventrue, keep out of it. Yep. And good evenings again, gentlemen.
Good evening, Portia.
That sort of confirms what you thought was going on.
Yeah, as we'll leave, it's like, once we're outside of any form of earshot, I'll be like, "Ballard, wasn't that the third venture?" for succession.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Ballard, Capone, and now Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's an interesting turn of events.
I don't know which evil I think is lesser of those three.
Well, as long as it's not Jackson, I don't care.
Mm-hmm. As you're standing outside the club, a familiar gentleman with long hair with a young lady on his arm appears, and he goes, nice to see you again, ladies and gentlemen. It's the guy from the theatre company with his young lady. It's
Jakov or something?
Edvard.
Edgard, okay, yeah.
Edvard. You can call me Edward. Yes. With my visitor, beautiful songstress here. You're leaving the club,
To see you.
And to see you. You're leaving the club, are you?
That was our plan, yes.
Well,
I kind of stop myself and then look at Philip and then just nod to him.
yeah, it's nice to see you. Anyway,
You're,
go on, sir.
you have an evening planned here?
Oh yes, as always, drumming up. Is it how do you say business? Leaving
When is the next performance?
in a week's time. As you said, just keep the eye on the notice boards within the club itself.
Right.
It is an interesting club after all. Interesting things happen there.
They do indeed.
Yes, and you get to see some interesting things, like a Ventru almost losing it. Not a Ventru, a Toreador almost lose it. That was an interesting evening. Yes, an art evening that was at how you say went wrong, and a certain Annabelle Tribell sort of had a hissy fit. She had to be calmed down.
Annabelle.
That's unusual.
Annabelle Tribell. I believe she is the Toreador. Was it Toreador? Was it Primogen of the city?
She was at the meeting we were in before, didn't we?
Yes.
Yeah. We've kind of met her, yes.
Yep. It was, as you say, an interesting evening. Something she would care not to, how you say, remember. After all, a Toreador who goes into frenzy is not a good thing to do. It sort of spoils their persona.
What was her hissy fit about?
An art display which wasn't an art display. Someone who had a dance which was a little too rude, and someone who played some music upside down, claiming it was new music, and when she was shown it was actually a classical piece played upside down, she was, how you might say, a little annoyed at this point.
You wouldn't have had anything to do with these art displays, would you?
No, I was just there witnessing it. It was, how you say, entertaining. There is so little entertainment nowadays. And he sort of looks behind you. And are you going to look behind you?
Yeah.
We're having one of those nights.
A familiar figure in a crumpled suit with a big sword on his was it sort of walking in your direction? And he's
Rings a pause.
and
Matthias.
that's the one. He sort of walks up, sort of nods at you, and nods at Edward. And Matthias says, "Nice to see you, fellow clansman. It has been such a long time since we we met. And how is... it was Paris last time. Edward said it was in the spring. And you're still hunting shadows for your mysterious masters? Matty says, indeed I do. Do you still collect waifs and strafes? Edward says, I still do, but now allow them to shine and a second chance in a local theatre group. Glad you are keeping yourself busy. Like myself, away from the troubles of our old country. And they sort of nod. Indeed so. Sort of bows to you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And he sort of walks into the club.
I'll raise my hat to him.
And Edward says, it is always nice to see fellow clansmen and countrymen. It makes me remember my home. Anyway, gentlemen, I have some business to do. I wish you a good night and, a good evening.
You too. And safe travels for yourself.
Indeed so. And I hope things, don't get too hard in the city for you. He smiles. Oh, and he stops. Oh yes, have you found the wolf pack yet?
Well, we found them a little hard to locate. Unfortunately.
Yes, I remember, when I met them. They were a little upset by me, and he smiles and laughs.
Yes.
And he walks into the club.
That club is certainly very busy. It's very loud as well.
Sorry guys, I'm gonna need to drop out. I'm fading.
That's fine.
Okay.
Not feeling great. I'm really sorry to do this.
Oh no, it's totally understandable.
Yeah.
No,
I feel like we're probably coming to a good stopping point anyway.
I think we might as well call it a night, because that seems to be good outside the club. It's about midnight and we can do the rest later, so that isn't going to be an issue. Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed tonight.
Yeah.
It's been really fun. I'm really sorry to have to
No, you've done...
No.
Don't worry about it. You've done really well considering what you've gone through.
Right.
Definitely. Because I've been there and it's not funny. So we'll finish off at midnight outside the club. So next session should be in 4 weeks' time. But that will depend again on if I get the job. Because it's 12 weeks. This is why I was a little peeved about the shadow found on my liver, thinking I didn't need this. Because I could lose the job because of it. I shouldn't do.
Oof. That would be really shit if you did.
I was taught. Right. Yeah, that's fine.
When is you've got your scan for that?
No idea. I'll get it fairly quick. But they will be fairly quick. It will be.
They're normally.
If it's cancer, it's quick.
Yeah, they're normally they have those timelines now, don't they?
That's how I got into. That's how I got They found the tumor because of the anemia. They actually put me into strangely bowel cancer. Into that thing.
If you don't mind, when you do actually get a date and anything, could you just pop it in the post, like in the chat, just so I'd like to make sure so we know that you're okay.
Yeah, that'll be fine. I'll keep it. I'll keep you informed. As you said, I put
it's
it.
not from a kind of point of view of the game. It's more point of view just to make sure that you're.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, no, I understand. As you said, it's making things a little funny at the moment. It has fired off my anxiety, which doesn't help. No.
So if you do want to talk to someone, like we're always available.
Oh yeah, I've got loads of people to talk to. I've got guys on Second Life. Got a girlfriend here. So yeah, and everybody said if you want to talk, and I'm thinking, yep, works. I don't think the job's going to be a problem in the end. regardless.
I don't think a job is allowed to
Yeah.
say we can't hire you because of a medical condition.
Yeah,
Because that would be. I think that's actually illegal.
Yeah.
It is.
so I have to do this on my doing that. Actually, today was quite good. I was actually starting to go for the cases at a fair knot. So I was. So all I do is sit on the end of on a computer, answering email after email. That's all I do. I thought that's nice and easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can do that from home.
Yeah, that's they don't. Pets at Home have actually switched the phones off. From
There's a lot of
COVID,
companies that have done that.
and they haven't put them back on.
Wow.
So it actually works pretty well, because if they've got enough people you can answer a question within less than an hour, and if there's enough people there as they're putting on the end, they're answered fairly quickly. And of course it gives us time to sort all after we ask the questions to sort it out without the customer sitting at the end of the phone. So it gets done a lot easier in the end. And I quite enjoy it. The worst I'll have to do is a live chat. Most of that just seems you do the live chat. If you can't do anything, you just put it onto a queue, and it gets sent to a colleague. Oh, so that's one of us guys. On that note, I'll wish you a good night. Bear with me.